What's going on, everyone? This is Aaron from Dad.0. So typically there's two main categories of people that buy smartwatches. One wants the top of the line tracking, health features, premium materials, and cost is kind of an afterthought. Here I'm thinking the Apple Watch Ultra, some of the high-end Garmin's, and those sort of watches. And then you have the people that are willing to sacrifice some of those elements, but still get great battery life at a fraction of the cost. Today, I'm reviewing a watch that kind of blends both of those two together. This is the Amazfit GTR Mini, and it's got a nice looking design, some great features, awesome battery life at a really great price. First, let me show you the unboxing I did a couple weeks ago. You can see it comes in nice packaging here. Up your game on the side here, some features on the back. Opening it up, and the first thing you're met with is this beautiful GTR Mini with a circular display, silver bezels. It's got just that one button on the side. I mean, this is subjective, but to me it looks great from first look. Taking it out of the box, and the first thing you notice is just how small and light this is. This is definitely for the people that don't want that huge, bulky Apple Watch Ultra or Garmin on their wrist. They want something small, lightweight, and something they'll probably forget that they're wearing after a few minutes. We'll get more into that design in just a minute. There's not much else in the box. You just get your proprietary charging cord. No wall adapter in here, so you'll have to have your own USB wall adapter or plug it into a computer. And the only other thing in here is just a user guide. And that's it. That's all you get. But then again, do you really need anything else? Probably not, so I'm totally fine with that. Let's go back to that design. Like I said, this thing is really, really light. It comes in at 35 grams with the watch band on, which when I compare it to my Apple Watch, that comes in at 50 grams. And it's a difference I can definitely feel when I put them on. And I really like what they did here. They put the 2.5D curved glass and the stainless steel up top, and this is what you see, what other people see, and it looks premium. And the bottom is plastic, which keeps it lightweight and the cost down. But then again, you don't really see the bottom when it's on your wrist. Now the case itself is 42 millimeters, and it has, again, just this one button on the side. It doesn't scroll. Kind of feels like it should, but it doesn't. It's simply just a back button, or a long press is a quick action button. The default for this quick action button is to take you to your workouts, but you can customize what this button does in the app. The display itself is a 1.28 inch AMOLED panel, which is really good. I was kind of expecting something like an LCD screen at this price point, but this display is really, really nice. It's got great colors, great contrast. The screen itself is fairly bright. Now, I can't find anywhere that tells me exactly how many nits of brightness this has. Maybe someone in the comments can help me out there, but in a real world test, when I take it outside, on a cloudy day, it's visible no problem. In direct sunlight, it gets a little bit tougher to read. My guess is around 500 nits of brightness, which is good for most situations outside of direct sunlight. All in all, I don't think you're going to find a better display at this price point. And then you have the bands, which are 20 millimeter. One thing to note about the bands, they're pretty short. I have medium to large size wrists, and I'm on the second to the last hole on this band. But the good thing is you can find third-party 20 millimeter bands all over the place to swap this out. One thing that's notably missing from this design is a microphone and a speaker, which means no making or receiving phone calls on this watch and no voice assistance on this watch. And I'm not gonna lie, this might be a deal breaker for some people, but for me personally, most of the time I would rather not take a phone call on my smartwatch. I'd rather just be notified I'm getting a phone call and then I can take it on my phone. Now, if I'm not near my phone or I can't find it, that's when it comes in handy to be able to take it then. But if you're fine just getting the notifications and then calling the person back if you have to on your phone, then this shouldn't be a deal breaker. When you do get a notification, you get a nice strong vibration on your wrist. One thing to note when it comes to text replies, for Android users, you can reply to text with presets that you can customize in the app or with an emoji. For iOS users, you unfortunately cannot reply to text messages, but you do get the notification and you can read it on the watch. All right, let's talk about some of the features on this watch because there are a lot of them. Let's start with health tracking. Now, you do have a heart rate monitor on this. You have a blood oxygen monitor as well. It'll track your stress levels. It'll also track your sleep. It'll show you things like VO2 max, your recovery time, your training load, and the training effect. This does have onboard GPS that in my testing works very well and has tracked me very accurately. For women, it does have the menstrual cycle tracking, and then it has kind of your everyday activity tracking that you see on most watches, like your steps, your calories burned, and your resting heart rate. And overall, I would say that the health tracking has been fairly accurate. Now, I'm not going to lie, the first couple days took some calibration, especially when you're doing like an indoor workout, but after that, I would say it's been very accurate. Sleep tracking has been really accurate in my opinion. No sleep tracker is 100%, but it seems to be really accurate when I'm actually in bed and sleeping, and the times I get up throughout the night and the time I actually wake up. The heart rate tracking seems very accurate when I compare it to my Apple Watch. Same with the SpO2. One thing I had to learn was to move the watch up a little bit on my wrist to do SpO2 to get more accurate readings. Outdoor runs with GPS have been very accurate. Like I said, indoor activities took a little bit more calibration, which is true of almost every smartwatch out there. And they give you over 120 workouts to track, which is just honestly kind of a crazy amount. And this is water resistant up to 50 meters, so swimming is one of those workouts you can track. Now they give you a few other metrics to track, like stress and PAI and a few others, which are algorithm based, which take into account things like your heart rate, your workouts, your activity, your sleep, and spits out a number for you. So it's tough to say how accurate this is because they are algorithm based, but they're there to give you kind of an overview of your health and to help you continue with your goals. And overall, you just have a ton of health data on this watch. It's a lot of bang for your buck here. And you're able to access a lot of this right on the watch itself. But if you go into the Zepp app, you can drill down even further and get more in-depth data on the app itself, which I feel like they've done a really good job developing. I reviewed an Amazfit a couple years ago, and the app was definitely not this user-friendly. They've done a great job making it easy to understand, easy to get your data and drill into it, and they made it easy to change settings, change goals, edit your profile, add more watch faces. Overall, I'm really impressed with how they've developed this app. So let's talk about another big feature, which would be the battery life. And like all Amazfit products, this has excellent battery life. They quote 14 days, and in my testing, I'm right around that mark. Now, like always, there's going to be some people in the comments that say, oh, I don't get that amount, I get half that, or I get way more than that. And that's because obviously it depends on how you're using the watch. If you're using GPS every day, if you have the brightness all the way up, that's obviously going to take away from that battery life. But for me, I try to keep it at pretty normal settings with medium brightness, tracking a workout daily, getting all notifications, and wearing it 24/7, even while sleeping, and I get 12 to 14 days of battery life. Now, this watch runs on Zepp OS 2.0, which is a very simple operating system. Getting around is very snappy. Swiping left or right from the home screen brings you quick access to widgets, and you can customize which ones are shown here. I personally have my activity tracking, my heart rate tracking, weather, PAI score, you have your music controls, and then the last is just this dock that has short views of a bunch of different widgets that you can scroll through and interact with. A long press on the watch face allows you to change your watch faces, and there is a ton to choose from in the Zepp app. Swiping down from the top of the screen will bring you some quick access to settings, and swiping up from the bottom of the screen shows you your notifications. And then from the home screen, if you press the button, you're able to get into your apps. Now, like I said, this is a very simple operating system, so there's not a ton of app support, but if you go into the Zepp app and click on your watch and go to the App Store, you can see you can add a few in here and customize and delete ones that you don't want. And even though there's not a ton of app support on here, I think the simplicity of Zepp OS makes it so it's super easy to learn how to use this watch. Even if you've never used a smartwatch before, I think most people can put this on and learn how to interact with it and get to the things they want to get to in a matter of minutes. So if it hasn't been blatantly obvious throughout this review whether or not I'd recommend this, the answer is a definite yes, especially when you consider that at the time of this review, you can get this watch for $120 US. I think is just a fantastic price for the amount of features that you get. And not only just the features, but it also looks really good in my opinion. I like the circular design, the screen is beautiful, the stainless steel around it makes it look premium, it is super lightweight, it has great battery life, and you can get it at a fraction of the cost of an Apple Watch or a Wear OS watch or a Garmin or something like that. So if you're considering this watch, I'd say go ahead and get it. I don't think you'll be disappointed at all. And if you do want to get it, I'll put a link in the description below where you can check it out and buy it if you wish. So that's my review of the Amazfit GTR Mini. Thank you guys for watching to the end. If you like this review and you want to see more of them, subscribe to my channel, give the video a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. Again, thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.
You